Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the group 5 and our group will present about the online pre-love clothing system for the admin part. My name is MOHAMMAD bin YAACOP and I will first present about the project scope. So our project is about the development of online pre-love clothing for the administration side. Symphony Inc. is responsible for developing the software. Wira Holding, which is the stakeholder, request for the set system to be created. And next is the project stakeholder. We have three, which is the building team, users and authorities. Building team consists of project manager, developer team, production support team. The user is the supplier, buyer and admin, and the authority is the investor and the government. So and then for the project objective, one is to create a good coding website that have new features. And then to help the customer and seller in giving a good and easy platform. And also to make this an easy to use website. So this is our use case diagram, which have general manager, financial manager and marketing manager. For our use case, we have financial manager to take the manage transaction, login and register account, and next for the general manager, the marketing manager to log in to manage promotion and advertisement, manage user account, generate report and manage complaint. Now moving on for the first use case, which is generate report. So this is the use case specification. It created by me on 25 July 2020. So the user is the general manager and the trigger is the admin. And so for the preconditions, the user must have the general manager ID to proceed. And then for the basic flow, first step, the use case starts when the user has logged in as the general manager, and so the system will display the home page. And when the user clicks on the generate report page, the system will display the generate report page, which will show to the user the option to choose. So when the user click on the one option, which is the transaction report, the system will prompt for confirmation to generate the following reports. And the user clicks on confirm, then the report will be generated. So the system will display the generated report, and it also will show the option to download the report. So if the user clicks on yes, so the report will be downloaded and the use case ends. So for the alternate flow, the system will show the option, which is the transaction report or the member report. So if the user click on the member report, it will generate the members report. And second alternate flow, the user prompt for confirmation. If the user clicks on cancel, so the report will not be generated. The last alternate flow is when the system show option to download the report. If the user clicks no, then the report will not be downloaded. And the post condition is the report will be saved on the system. So the user interface design, as you can see here, the generate report page. You can choose within the transaction report and the members report. So if you click on the transaction report, you will go to the transaction report. You will generate the transaction report, and there's the download button at the bottom right corner of the page. So for the test case, the test priority is medium. It designed on 29 July and executed by me. So for the first step, I'm testing to navigate to the generate report page, and the status is pass. The generate report page is displayed. Next, to select a report to be generated, I'm using the transaction report. So it's also passed. The report about the last month transaction is generated. So for the last step, I'm testing to choose to download the report. I'm using also the transaction report. So when I click on the download, the report is downloaded. So it's also passed. That's all for my presentation.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SYAZWAN and I'll be presenting the use case of manage user account. Okay, so the use case specification for manage user account. The use case ID is a members account 1.0. The use case name is manage user account. And the objective is to manage the users or the members or users that are registered to our system. And then it's created by me, and the actor in this use case is the general manager, which is the admin, and it is frequently used. So the precondition is the user or the actor, which is the general manager, needs to have the administration ID. Okay, so this is the basic flow. The first step is the use case starts when the user successfully log in as general manager. So the system will display the home page of the general manager, which has several options. For example, like manage, complain, or manage members. And then the second step is the user will select the manage member. Then the system will display the manage members page, which contain a list of members that are registered to the system. Then the third step is the user select one of the members. Then the system will display the details of the member. And in that page also will display the block and terminate option. And then there's the fifth step. The fifth step is the user will click the block option. It will lead to alternate flow number one, which is the block. And then we return to step number 6. The user click the terminate option, and it will lead to the second alternate flow, which is called terminate. And then there's the seventh step. The use case end when the user log out from the system. Okay, so this is the alternate flow. The first alternate flow is block member from the basic flow, which is the step 5. When the user click the block option, the system will block the member from making any purchases and sales. And then the system will return to basic flow, step number 6. Then the second alternate flow is terminate member. The first step is from the basic flow, step number 6, which is the user click the terminate option. So the system will remove the member account from the system. And then the system will return to basic flow, step number 7. The use case ends when the user log out from the system. Then the post condition is the seller or buyer, the members, will be notified about their account status, whether the account being blocked or being terminated. Okay, so this is the interface for manage user account. Okay, so when the general manager or the admin click the manage member, this is the page. Then the members list will be displayed. And if they click the view more, for example, they click the Abu Bakar's view more, it will lead to this page, which contains the Abu Bakar's detail. And you can see there's a button at the bottom right corner, which has a block, user, and terminate button. Okay, then the manage user account, the test case. Okay, the test case ID ABT01, designed by HARITH, priority medium, module name, manage members, test title, action taken on members. Description is test to take action on members that registered to the system, technique equivalence partition. And then the precondition is the same, user already logged in and user general manager needs to have the administration ID. Okay, dependency test SCT members 01. Okay, so this is the test case step. Again, the first step is navigate to manage members page. Then the expected result, manage member page displayed. Actual result, manage member page is displayed. And then the second step, select one of the member. For this case, we choose Abu Bakar. And then the expected result, the details of the selected users displayed. Then the details displayed. Then click the block. The third step is we click the block option. Then the pop-up of the confirmation whether to confirm the block of the user. Okay, the actual result pop up to confirm the accepted request. Okay, then we click the confirm button, and then the page will display the user has been successfully blocked in the system. And then the actual result, user is navigated to the manage members page with the list. Okay, step number 5, click the block terminate. Click the terminate button. So the pop-up of the confirmation to terminate the user will be displayed in the actual result. Okay, and then the last step is click the confirm button to terminate the user. Then the page will display the user has been successfully removed from the system. So the account has been deleted from the system. Okay, then the post condition, the list of the members is updated, and the members will be notified about their account status. Okay, so that's all for me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad ABDULLAH bin SHAHARUDDIN, metric number 1916847. Inshallah, I'm going to present about the use case in the managed transaction. So the first one is the use case specification. So this is the use case specification. ID transaction 1.0, use case name managed transaction. Objective to manage this transaction in the business system, created by AFIQ. Last, okay. User actor is the financial manager. Trigger admin. Frequency of use is the frequent. So the precondition, the user must have login details as admin. There must be a request for a transaction from the buyer. So this is the basic flow. So the use case starts when the user logs in as an admin in the system. Then the system verifies the login details. So there will be error 1, invalid username, password, and alternate 1, forget password. Then the system show the home page for admin and display option for the user. So it should be a manage transaction. Okay, then the user selects manage transaction. The system shows a list of the transaction requests from the buyer. The user chooses one of the requests. The system will display the details of the request. Then the system show option for the user: accept request, or alternate 3, reject request. So the user select an accepted request. Okay, when the user select accepted request, the system prompt for the confirmation. For example, confirm or cancel. Okay, so the user select confirm. When the user select confirm, the system save the application and return it to the request list. Okay, there will be error 3, cannot save the application. Okay, so then the system shows an action list such as log out. So the use case ends when the user logs out from the system. So this is the alternate flow, and one is about the forgot password. So basic flow step 1, this happens in basic flow step 1. The system verifies the login details: invalid username and password, or forgot password. The user select forgot password. The system prompt user to enter email or phone number for changing password. The user enter the details. The number show that the verification message have been sent. Then return to basic flow step 1 for another login, for a new login. Okay, then alternate flow A2, reject request. Okay, so it happened in basic flow step 5. The user select a rejected request. Okay, when the user select a rejected request, so the system prompt for confirmation: are you sure to reject or cancel? And then it will return to the basic flow step number 4. And alternate flow 3 is cancel. So this happened in basic flow step 5 in the confirmation statement. Okay, the system for confirmation, so the user select cancel, and then it will return to the basic flow step 7. The next one is exception flow, invalid username and password. The system display wrong username, password. The system return to basic flow step 1. The use case end. Exception flow E2, no request. The system display no new request. The system return to basic flow step 8. The use case ends. And then the exception flow E3 cannot save the application. The system displays cannot save the application. So the system return to basic flow step 6. The use case ends. So the post condition, the user transaction request is updated and the business system is updated. Special requirements, the buyer must provide sufficient information before they can request for a transaction. Business rule, the request can only appear in the financial manager request list if the payment has been made by the buyer. Okay, the next one is the user interface design. So this is the interface for the managed transaction. Okay, in the managed transaction, we can look here, there will be a request list and there will be the username of the buyer that request for the transaction. Okay, so this, for example, username is Ahmad Badrul. Date is on 23rd May of 2020. So to do this, the user, the admin or the financial manager will click view more. Okay, and then it will display this, the details of the user. So the username is Ahmad Badrul. Date of transaction 23rd May 2020. The product is the pair of clothing, price 50 ringgit, and the seller is Zaidi. The payment through online banking. So there will be two button at the bottom right corner. Then the financial manager or the admin will select to accept or reject the request, the transaction request. Okay, that's for the interface. The next one is test case. Okay, this is test case for transaction. Test case ID MT01, designed by AFIQ. Priority is high. Okay, because it's a cooperate with bank with money, so it's too risky. We need to priority this test case. Okay, so module name is the managed transaction. Test title, accept the transaction request. Description, test the accept the transaction request. The precondition, user already logged in and is a financial manager. Technique is the equivalent partition, valid partition. Dependencies, test transaction or one. Okay, so the first step is to navigate to manage transaction page, and then it will be manage transaction page is displayed. Manage transaction page is displayed, so the status is pass. Okay, the second test is select user or member from the list. For example, Ahmad Badrul, we select Ahmad Badrul, so it will display the details of the selected user. If the detail is displayed, so it's pass. And then the third one is the click the accept option. So the pop-up of the confirmation for the accept will display. If the pop-up display, so it's pass. And then click on the confirm button. The page display the buyer transaction have been accepted. When we click on confirm, okay, we accept, so the buyer transaction have been accepted. User is navigated to the manage transaction page with the list. And then the fifth one, click the reject button. Pop-up of the confirmation. Okay, there will be a pop-up. So pop-up to confirm the rejected request. So when it has a pop-up, it pass. And then click on the confirm button. Then the page display the buyer transaction have been rejected. So the user is navigated to the manage transaction page with the list. So the post condition, the list of the transaction request is updated. The buyer will be notified about their transaction status. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is AIMAN and I will be presenting about the use case of managed complaint. So for the use case specification, the user or actor is the general manager and the frequency of use is frequent. So firstly, the use case start when the user already logged in, and then the homepage will be displayed, and he click on the manage complaint page. So the page will display about the list of complaints, and the arrow one is no complaints, so the user will select one of the complaints, and then it will prompt to it will display the list and the details of the complaint. So there will be a comment section for the user to enter and then respond, or alternative he can skip it. So the user enter comments and the system will verify it, and then the system prompt for confirmation, and the use case end when the user click on the respond button. The first alternate flow is when the user want to skip, so the system will return to basic flow step 3, displaying another complaint. Alternate flow 2 is cancel, so when the system prompt for confirmation, the user click cancel and it will return to basic flow step 3 and display the other complaint. Exception flow 1, no complaint, and the system display at the page no new complaints. Exception 2, invalid input, the system display invalid input when the user enter at the comment section. And then post condition is the user, the seller or buyer that complain will be notified with the comment. Special requirement is the user, seller or buyer must provide complete information, and the business rule is the comment section is required. And then the user interface design, this is the structure of it. It have the list, this is the list with username, rating, date, complaint title, and then the user will click on the view more, and then it will display this page which have the details and need to fill in this comment. And then the test case is respond to the complaint successfully. So the test case is to successfully respond. The first step is go to the complaint page and then select one of the user. In this case the user is Zaidi, and then enter some comment. So this is the comment that entered, and click on the respond, and then the page display response has been sent and return to the manage complaint page. So this is the prototype of the manage complaint. So this is the list, and then the user will click on view more, and then it will display the details of the complaint with complaint title, description, and some attachment. This is the attachment, the screenshot of the chat, and then we will enter some comment and then respond. So then the list will change to already responded.